The ancient dragon Araxes lay dying beneath the crumbling remains of what had once been his mountain sanctuary. His once mighty scales, once gleaming like polished obsidian, now dulled and cracked from the unrelenting assault. Blood as dark as the void between stars seeped from countless wounds inflicted by the Emperor's elite warriors. For 1,000 years. That's how long Araxes had lived among the stars, watching civilizations rise and fall across the galaxy. For 1,000 years of wisdom, power, and memories, about to be extinguished by creatures who couldn't even comprehend what they were destroying. Araxes was the last of the cosmic dragons, beings who had once soared between galaxies, their existence predating the rise of most sentient species. The Empire had hunted his kind to near extinction, believing dragon hearts contained the secret to immortality. Now, as Imperial soldiers secured the perimeter around his broken body, preparing extraction equipment to harvest his organs, Araxes resigned himself to the end. The Emperor himself had come to witness the kill. Emperor Zoltan XVI stood at a safe distance, surrounded by his royal guard, his face twisted in triumph behind his transparent helmet. His voice, amplified through external speakers, echoed through the cavernous ruins. The last dragon falls today. With its heart, the secret to eternal life will finally be mine. Araxes would have laughed if he could still draw enough breath. These creatures understood nothing. Dragon hearts contain no magical properties, only the concentrated energy of stars consumed over millennia. Consuming it would not grant immortality, it would incinerate the Emperor from within. But Araxes had no reason to correct this fatal misunderstanding. Let the Emperor die screaming when he tried to harness power no human was meant to wield. A sharp pain lanced through the dragon's chest as one of the soldiers drove a sampling probe between his scales. Araxes hissed weakly, his inner fire guttering. The neural dampeners they had attached to his spine prevented him from retaliating with the cosmic flame that once reduced planets to ash. He could only watch as they prepared to butcher him while he still lived. Sir, biosigns indicate terminal decline. We need to accelerate extraction or risk losing viable material, a technician reported. The Emperor gestured impatiently. Then do it. Cut out its heart now. The extraction team moved forward with surgical tools designed specifically for dragon anatomy, the product of centuries of study on Araxes' slaughtered kin. The dragon closed his eyes. Soon, the pain would end. Soon, he would join his kind in whatever void awaited them beyond this reality. As his consciousness began to fade, Araxes became aware of a commotion at the perimeter. Shouting, "Weapons fire!" Then silence. "What is happening?" the Emperor demanded. "Intruder, Your Majesty," came the reply. "A child. A human child from the nearby settlement." Araxes forced his eyes open. Through the haze of pain and neural dampeners, he saw a small figure being dragged before the Emperor. A boy, no more than 12 Earth years, with unruly brown hair and eyes that blazed with fury beyond his years. "You can't kill him," the boy shouted, struggling against the grip of the soldier who held him. "He's the last one." The Emperor regarded the child with cold amusement. "And who might you be, to challenge imperial decree?" "I'm Noah Wells. My father was Dr. Thomas Wells. He studied the dragons before you killed him for it." A flicker of recognition passed across the Emperor's face. "Ah, the heretic xenobiologist. I remember the execution order." He stepped closer to the boy. "Your father died because he spread dangerous lies about these monsters being sentient, about them having rights. The Empire cannot tolerate such sedition." "They're not monsters," Noah said, his voice cracking. "They're the oldest living beings in the galaxy. They remember stars that died before humans even existed." The Emperor chuckled. "Children and their fantasies. Take this boy away. Once he's old enough, he can join the work camps for interfering with imperial business." As the soldiers began to drag Noah away, the boy twisted in their grip and locked eyes with Araxes. The dragon felt something stir within him, not just recognition, but connection. This child carried something familiar. "Shanvok," Noah shouted, his voice echoing through the ruins. The word struck Araxes like a bolt of cosmic energy. Shanvok, the ancient dragon word for remember. A word no human should know, a word that belonged to a language dead for millennia, spoken only between dragons in the void between stars. And yet, This human child had spoken it perfectly, with the exact intonation that made it more than just a word. It was a command, a reminder of what dragons truly were. Araxis felt something impossible happening within his failing body. The word had triggered an ancient biological failsafe, a mechanism evolved when dragons first began to travel the cold void between stars, when they sometimes fell into death-like hibernation. Shanvok was the call that awakened them, that reminded their bodies how to live. Power surged through the dragon's body. His heart, which had been slowing to its final beats, suddenly thundered with renewed strength. The neural dampeners overloaded and shorted out in a shower of sparks. The soldiers nearest to Araxis backed away in alarm as his dulled scales began to regain their obsidian luster. "What's happening?" the Emperor demanded, his triumph turning to confusion. What did the boy do? Araxis rose. His massive body, which moments before had been slumped in defeat, now unfolded to its full, terrifying height. The extraction team scattered, dropping their tools as they fled. The Emperor's guards moved to protect their ruler, raising weapons that now seemed pitifully inadequate. The dragon's eyes, now blazing with renewed cosmic fire, fixed on Noah. The boy stood transfixed, no longer struggling against his captors, who had loosened their grip in shock at the dragon's resurrection. "Impossible," the Emperor whispered. It was dying. Araxis spread his wings, their span blocking out the light from the cavern entrance. When he spoke, his voice resonated not through air but directly into the minds of all present. "You sought to claim powers beyond your understanding, little Emperor. You murdered my kind for a gift you could never possess." The dragon's mental voice was ancient and terrible, carrying the weight of millennia. But this child, this human child, carries something far more valuable than any dragon heart. Noah's captors released him entirely now, backing away in terror. The boy stood alone between the Emperor's retinue and the resurrected dragon, somehow unafraid. "How do you know our language?" Araxis directed his thoughts toward the boy alone. Noah's reply was quiet but clear. "My father taught me. He found inscriptions in the old ruins on Proxima B. He said the dragons left messages for humans to find, but nobody believed him." Araxis felt a strange emotion sweep through him, something like hope, long forgotten. The old ones had indeed left messages, never expecting humans would be the ones to decode them. Messages about what dragons truly were and what they might become with the right catalyst. The Emperor, recovering from his initial shock, barked orders to his guards. "Kill them both. Now." Plasma rifles discharged in unison, the energy bolts streaking toward Araxis and Noah. With a contemptuous thought, the dragon created a shield of warped space-time around himself and the boy. The bolts disappeared into the distortion, their energy absorbed and nullified. "Your weapons cannot harm me now," Araxis projected, the thought crashing into the minds of all present like a physical blow. "I have remembered what I am." The Emperor's face contorted with rage and fear. "What are you, then? What trickery is this?" "No trickery. Simply awakening." The dragon lowered his massive head until it was level with Noah. "This child has given me back more than my life. He has returned my purpose." Moving with impossible speed for something so large, Araxis swept one massive wing forward, creating a pressure wave that sent the Emperor and his guards tumbling backward. Then, with delicate precision that belied his size, he scooped Noah onto his back, between the great spinal ridges where the boy could safely hold on. "Hold tight, Noah Wells," the dragon projected. "We have much to discuss, and little time to do it." Before the Imperial forces could regroup, Araxis launched himself upward, smashing through the stone ceiling of the cavern. Rocks and debris rained down, burying much of the Emperor's expedition. The dragon burst into open air, his wings spreading wide to catch the thermal currents rising from the planet's surface. Noah clung to the obsidian scales, the wind whipping his hair as they soared higher. Despite the impossible situation, the boy felt no fear, only exhilaration and a strange sense of rightness, as if his entire life had been leading to this moment. "Where are we going?" he shouted against the wind. "Somewhere they cannot follow," Araxis replied in his mind. "Somewhere I can explain what you have done and what it means for both our kinds." They climbed higher, past the clouds, into the upper atmosphere where the sky darkened to indigo. Noah gasped as he realized they were leaving the planet entirely. You should not be able to breathe up here, the dragon observed. And yet you are? Another sign. Before Noah could ask what that meant, Araxis accelerated, breaking free of the planet's gravity well. The void of space enveloped them, stars shining with cold clarity all around. Yet Noah felt neither the freezing cold of space nor the suffocation of vacuum. Somehow, the dragon's presence sheltered him from the deadly environment. How is this possible? Noah thought, not speaking aloud, and was startled when the dragon answered. The word you spoke, Shanvok, did more than revive me. It awakened the connection between us. A connection your father suspected but could not prove. They soared through the darkness between worlds, moving at speeds that should have been impossible without a ship. Noah watched in awe as a nearby moon grew larger in his vision, its cratered surface reflecting the light of the system's star. We need a place to rest, Araxis projected. I am not yet at full strength, and there is much to explain. The dragon descended toward a massive crater on the moon's dark side, landing with surprising gentleness on the dusty surface. Noah slid from his back, finding to his amazement that he could stand normally despite the lower gravity. He felt perfectly comfortable in what should have been a lethal environment. You're wondering how you survive, Araxis observed, settling his massive body onto the lunar soil. It is part of what the word awakened, not just in me, but in you. Noah looked down at his hands, which seemed unchanged yet somehow felt different. What's happening to me? The dragon's mental voice softened. Your father discovered part of the truth. Dragons are not native to this universe, Noah. We came from somewhere else. Long ago, when the barriers between realities were thinner, we were sent to watch, to wait, and eventually to find those who could follow us back. Back where? Home. The word carried emotional weight beyond its simple meaning. We have been searching for compatible beings for millennia. Your ancestors were promising, but not ready. We left messages, hoping your kind would evolve to understand them. Noah thought of his father's research, of the ancient inscriptions he had studied in secret after the Empire branded such work heresy. My dad believed dragons were guardians of some kind. Guardians, observers, catalysts, all true in their way. Araxis shifted, his massive body creating a sheltered space that protected Noah from the open vacuum beyond. But we are also scouts, searching for those who might join us. Join you how? The dragon's eyes, like twin galaxies swirling with stars, fixed on Noah. By becoming like us. The boy felt dizzy with the implications. That's impossible. Humans can't become dragons. Not as you understand either humans or dragons, Araxis agreed. But the barriers between our forms are not as fixed as you might think. The word you spoke, it recognized something in you that was already changing, already becoming. Noah remembered his father's final theories, the ones that had ultimately led to his execution. He had proposed that dragon DNA contained sequences that appeared in no other life form in the known galaxy, except, mysteriously, in certain human bloodlines. The compatibilities your father discovered were real, Araxis confirmed, reading the boy's thoughts. Some humans carry the potential for transformation. Your father was one, and you are another. A distant flash of light caught Noah's attention. Looking back toward the planet they had fled, he saw the unmistakable flare of ships leaving the atmosphere. They're coming after us, he said. Yes. Araxis rose to his feet, wings unfurling. The Emperor will not abandon his quest for immortality, especially now that he has seen what is truly possible. What do we do? The dragon's mental voice took on an urgent tone. We must complete what you started when you spoke the word. Your transformation has begun, but it needs time. Time we may not have unless we reach the others. Others? I thought you were the last dragon. The last in this galaxy, Araxis corrected. But there are places between spaces where some of us still gather. Places the Emperor and his kind can never reach, unless they capture us and force the knowledge from our dying minds. Noah looked again at the approaching ships, now visible as tiny points of light against the blackness. Can we outrun them? Not in my weakened state, and not with you still in transition. The dragon's thoughts carried grim determination. There is another way, but it requires a choice from you, Noah Wells. What choice? I can accelerate your transformation. It will be painful, and there will be no going back to what you were. but it may give us the power we need to escape. Araxis lowered his head until his massive eye was level with Noah's face. I would not ask this of one so young, but circumstances leave us few options. Noah thought of his life before this moment, the years after his father's execution, living as an outcast in the settlement, watching the night sky and dreaming of the dragons his father had loved. He thought of the empire that had taken everything from him, that now sought to capture the last dragon for their emperor's mad quest. I choose to continue, he said firmly. Tell me what to do. Araxis's approval radiated through their mental connection. The word that awakened me has a counterpart, a word that completes the circuit, that bridges the gap between what is and what can be. Another dragon word? Yes, a word of becoming. The dragon's mental voice grew solemn. Speak it with the same intent you spoke, Shanvok, and the process will begin, Varishnak. Noah took a deep breath, though he wasn't sure he actually needed to breathe in this strange environment. The Imperial ships were growing larger now, their engines burning bright against the void. Varishnak, he said, feeling the alien syllables reshape themselves in his mouth, becoming something more than sound. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then pain lanced through Noah's body, so intense that he fell to his knees on the lunar dust. It felt as though every cell in his body was being torn apart and reconfigured, his very DNA unwinding and rewriting itself according to patterns older than human existence. Araxis stood guard over the boy's convulsing form, his wings creating a protective canopy. Through their mental link, he sent soothing thoughts, guiding Noah through the agony of transformation. Your body is remembering what it was meant to become, the dragon explained. The seed was planted in your ancestors millennia ago, waiting for the right moment to bloom. Noah couldn't respond. The pain was too great, consuming all thought. His skin felt like it was splitting, his bones elongating and reshaping. Through tear-blurred eyes, he saw his hands changing, fingers extending and hardening into something that was neither human nor quite dragon. The Imperial ships entered lunar orbit, their weapons systems charging. Araxis could feel the targeting systems locking onto them. We have minutes at most, he projected urgently. Noah, you must complete the transition. Focus on what you are becoming, not what you're leaving behind. Through the haze of agony, Noah tried to concentrate. What was he becoming? He had no reference, no understanding of what lay on the other side of this transformation. But he trusted Araxis, trusted the connection between them that felt older than his own existence. The first volley of Imperial weapons fire-streaked toward their position. Araxis rose to his full height, gathering what strength remained to him. He couldn't fight in his weakened state, not against the Empire's full might. But he could buy time. The dragon unleashed a blast of cosmic fire, not the ordinary flames that humans might expect from legends, but a concentrated stream of energy that warped the fabric of space-time itself. The lunar surface beneath the beam turned to glass instantly, and the leading Imperial ships veered off to avoid the deadly radiation. Noah, Araxis projected, strain evident in his mental voice. I cannot hold them off for long. You must complete the change. On the ground, Noah's body continued its impossible transformation. His spine elongated, ridges pushing through his skin. Scales, iridescent black like Araxis's, but with undertones of deep blue, spread across his changing form. The pain had reached a crescendo that threatened to black out his consciousness entirely. But beneath the pain, something else was emerging, power unlike anything Noah had ever imagined. He could feel the energy of nearby stars, could sense the very particles that made up the space around him. Knowledge flooded his mind. Ancient memories not his own, yet somehow familiar, as if recovering something long forgotten rather than learning something new. The Emperor's flagship descended toward the lunar surface, landing craft deploying from its underside. Troops would reach their position within minutes. Noah, Araxis projected again, more urgently. The time is now. With a supreme effort of will, Noah embraced the transformation completely. Something within him surrendered, not in defeat, but in acceptance. The final barrier between what he had been and what he was becoming dissolved. A blinding light erupted from Noah's transforming body, so intense that even Araxis had to look away. When it faded, where the boy had been there now lay a smaller dragon, not fully grown, but unmistakably of Araxis's kind. Its scales shimmered with the same obsidian luster, but carried undertones of deep cosmic blue. Wings, not yet full-sized but perfectly formed, folded against its sides. The young dragon opened eyes that swirled with nascent cosmic fire and rose unsteadily to its feet. Araxis. Noah's mental voice was the same, yet different, richer, more resonant. You have done it. The elder dragon projected, relief and pride flowing through their connection. Faster than I dared hope. Noah flexed his new form, feeling strange sensations, additional limbs, the weight of wings, the power coursing through what had once been human blood but was now something else entirely. The soldiers are coming, he observed, his senses now extending far beyond what any human could perceive. Yes, Araxis confirmed. But now we have options we did not have before. The ancient dragon turned his gaze to a point in space that seemed empty to normal perception. Now you can see the way home. Noah followed Araxis's gaze and gasped in his new draconic way. There, invisible to human eyes but blindingly obvious to his transformed senses, was a kind of fold in reality, a doorway between this universe and somewhere else. What is that? A passage to where the others wait. A place beyond the Empire's reach. Araxis spread his wings. Can you fly? Noah unfurled his own smaller wings experimentally. Knowledge that was not his yet somehow was guided him. The memory of flying between stars, of soaring through the void where no human could survive. I think so, he projected. Then follow me, young one. Araxis launched himself upward with powerful strokes of his wings, though there was no air in the lunar vacuum to provide lift. Something else propelled him, the same cosmic energy that had revived him at Noah's word. Noah followed, his new body responding with instincts older than humanity itself. They rose above the lunar surface just as the first Imperial troops emerged from their landing craft, weapons trained upward. Energy beams lanced through the space where they had been moments before. But the dragons were already accelerating toward the hidden passage, moving with impossible speed. What happens now? Noah projected as they approached the fold in reality. What's on the other side? The beginning, Araxis responded cryptically. And perhaps, at last, the answer to why we came to this universe in the first place. Together, they plunged into the dimensional rift, vanishing from the Empire's sensors and from the universe they had known. The last thing Noah saw before the passage closed behind them was the Emperor's flagship, growing distant and insignificant, a speck of dust compared to the vastness that now opened before him. As they entered the space between universes, Noah felt no regret for what he had left behind. Only curiosity about what lay ahead, and gratitude for the single word that had changed everything. Not just Shanvok, which had revived Araxis, but the unspoken word his father had taught him years ago. Hope. The space between universes defied description. Noah, in his new draconic form, tried to process what his senses were telling him. There was no up or down, no light or dark as he understood them. Instead, there were currents of energy and probability, streams of possibility flowing like rivers through a landscape that existed in more dimensions than his mind could fully comprehend. What is this place? Noah projected, staying close to Araxis as they navigated the strange environment. We call it the Void Stream, Araxis responded. It connects all realities, all possible universes. Few beings can perceive it, fewer still can enter it, and only our kind can navigate it safely. They moved through the stream, propelled not by wings but by thought and will. Noah was learning to control his new form by instinct, drawing on memories that seemed to come from the very substance of his transformed body. Where are we going? Noah asked. To the Nexus. It is where the remaining dragons gather, a pocket dimension we created long ago as a sanctuary. Araxis's thoughts carried a warmth that Noah hadn't felt from the ancient dragon before. They will be surprised to see me. More surprised to see you. They traveled for what might have been minutes or centuries. Time had little meaning in the void stream. Eventually, Noah perceived a concentration of energy ahead, a swirling vortex of power that somehow radiated a sense of home. The Nexus, Araxis confirmed. Prepare yourself. It has been many generations since a new dragon joined our number. They passed through a final barrier, a membrane between the stream and the pocket dimension beyond. The transition felt like breaking through the surface of water into air. The nexus materialized around them, an impossible space that seemed both infinite and intimate. Great crystalline structures floated in a twilight atmosphere, each crystal reflecting light that had no obvious source. And among these structures soared dragons, dozens of them, each unique in coloration and size, yet all unmistakably of Araxis's kind. The nearest dragons turned at their arrival, shock reverberating through the shared mental space that connected all present. Araxis. The thought came from a dragon with scales the color of a dying star, red and gold intermingled. We believed you lost. I nearly was, Keldara, Araxis responded. The Empire found my sanctuary. They had me at the edge of true death. The dragons gathered closer, their massive forms creating a living amphitheater around the newcomers. Noah felt their attention shift to him, curiosity and disbelief washing over him in waves. Who is this? The question came from a dragon smaller than the others, with scales of deep emerald. A youngling? Impossible. No eggs have hatched in a millennium. Not hatched, Araxis corrected. Transformed. This is Noah Wells, formerly human. A shocked silence fell across the mental space, followed by a cacophony of overlapping thoughts. A human? Transformation? The prophecy? It cannot be. After all this time, a massive dragon with scales like burnished bronze descended from above, its presence immediately calming the others. Noah sensed this was a leader among them, ancient even by dragon standards. I am Telvoros, the bronze dragon projected directly to Noah. Elder of what remains of our kind. You have questions. We all do. Noah, still adjusting to communicating in this new way, tried to organize his thoughts. I was human hours ago. Araxis said something about my ancestors, about compatibility. Telvoros turned his ancient gaze to Araxis. You found one of the seed line. After all this time, Araxis dipped his head in acknowledgement. His father was a researcher who discovered our messages. The Empire executed him for it, but not before he passed the knowledge to his son. When I lay dying, the boy spoke Shanvok. Murmurs of astonishment rippled through the gathered dragons. He knew the waking word without being taught. Keldara asked incredulously. His father found it in the ruins on Proxima B, Araxis explained. When Imperial forces cornered us, I guided him through speaking Varishnak. His transformation was remarkable in its speed and completeness. Telvoros studied Noah with renewed interest. The human form fell away so easily because it was never your true nature, young one. Your ancestors were part of the seeding. Humans we modified millennia ago, carrying dormant dragon genetics that could be awakened at need. Noah absorbed this revelation. Why? Why create humans who could become dragons? Survival, Telvoros answered simply. Our numbers were dwindling even before the empires of the galaxy began hunting us. We are not native to your universe, and something about its physics is inhospitable to our natural reproduction. The seeding was our attempt to create new dragons from compatible native species. But why humans? Noah asked. Surely there were more advanced species. A dragon with silver-white scales entered the conversation. Advanced technology means little. We needed beings with the right combination of physical attributes and consciousness patterns. Humans were remarkably compatible, adaptable, resilient, with minds capable of perceiving multiple realities simultaneously through what you call imagination. This is Navara, Araxis introduced. She designed the seeding protocol. Navara continued. We modified certain human bloodlines, embedding dormant dragon genetics that would express themselves only under specific conditions. Exposure to the right energy signatures, knowledge of the ancient language, moments of extreme need. Noah thought of his father, of his lifelong fascination with dragons that had ultimately led to his execution. Had he somehow sensed his own hidden nature? Was my father like me? Could he have transformed? Likely, Navara acknowledged. The potential was there, but transformation requires both knowledge and catalyst. Your father found the knowledge but never encountered the catalyst, an actual dragon to complete the connection. Telvoros's mental voice cut through the discussion. While this reunion brings joy, we face a more immediate concern. The Empire now knows of the boy's transformation. They will hunt him with even greater determination than they hunted us. They cannot reach us here, Keldara observed. No, Telvoros agreed. But we cannot remain in the Nexus forever. Our purpose requires us to return to the physical universe eventually. Noah realized there was something larger at play, something beyond his transformation, beyond even the Empire's hunt for dragon hearts. What is your purpose? Why come to our universe at all? The elder dragons exchanged thoughts in a way that excluded Noah, a rapid communication he couldn't follow. Finally, Telvoros turned back to him. We came as refugees at first, the ancient dragon explained. Our home reality was dying, consumed by what you might call entropy, but on a scale affecting the fundamental laws of existence. We fled through the void stream, finding your universe young and vibrant. But we discovered something unexpected, Araxis continued. Your universe has its own terminal illness, different from ours, but no less fatal in the long term. The expansion rate is increasing. Eventually, all matter will be torn apart as space itself stretches beyond the binding force of any known energy. The heat death of the universe, Noah said, recognizing the concept from his father's scientific texts. But that's billions of years away. For beings like us, who can live millennia, Navarra added, billions of years is still an endpoint. We sought a more permanent solution. Telvoros spread his wings, the motion somehow expanding the perceived space around them. We discovered that the void stream itself is the key. It exists between all realities, connecting them like a cosmic web. With enough energy and the right manipulation of its currents, it might be possible to create something new, a stable reality immune to entropy and expansion. A new universe, Noah realized, the concept staggering even to his enhanced mind. Yes, Telvoros confirmed. But such creation requires immense energy and specific types of consciousness working in concert. Dragons alone could not achieve it. We needed partners, beings who could perceive reality differently yet work alongside us. The seedline humans, Noah said. You created us to help you build a new universe. Not created, Araxis corrected gently. Modified. Enhanced. Your humanity remains the core of what you are, even in this form. That's what makes you valuable. You perceive both as human and as dragon. A ripple of disturbance passed through the Nexus, like a sudden wind through the mental space. All dragons turned their attention outward. Impossible, Keldara whispered. Something approaches through the stream. Telvoros rose higher, his ancient power gathering around him like a storm. No non-dragon has ever navigated the stream successfully. The Empire, Araxis concluded grimly. They must have captured the knowledge somehow. Noah remembered the Emperor's obsession with dragon hearts, his belief that they contained the secret to immortality. If they extracted memories from dying dragons, they might have pieced together enough to force their way in, Navarra finished. Not safely or efficiently, but enough to threaten the Nexus. The disturbance grew stronger. Through the entrance point where he and Araxis had arrived, Noah could see the stream churning unnaturally, as though something was tunneling through it with brute force rather than navigating its currents. We must prepare to defend ourselves, Telvoros declared. The elder dragons moved into formation around the entry point, gathering their cosmic energies. Noah, uncertain of his place, looked to Araxis. What can I do? I barely understand what I am. Your transformation is complete, but your knowledge is not, Araxis acknowledged. Stay back and observe. If necessary, flee deeper into the Nexus. But as the dragons prepared for battle, Noah felt something stirring within him, knowledge unlocking itself in response to the threat. He understood suddenly that his hybrid nature, part human, part dragon, might offer something unique. The barrier between the stream and the Nexus bulged inward, straining against the pressure from outside. With a sound like reality tearing, it ruptured. Through the breach came not the Emperor's armada as they had feared, but a single massive vessel, a ship unlike any in the Imperial fleet, its hull covered in symbols that Noah recognized from his father's research. That's not the Empire, he projected urgently. Those are the same symbols from the ruins on Proxima B. The dragons hesitated in their attack as the vessel stabilized within the Nexus. Its outer hull shifted and reformed, revealing it to be not metal, but some form of living material. Technology, so advanced it blurred the line between mechanical and biological. A hatch opened on the vessel's side. From it emerged a figure that appeared human at first glance, but moved with the fluid grace of something older. He looked directly at Noah with eyes that held the same cosmic fire as the dragon's. Another seedline human, Araxis realized aloud, but fully matured. The stranger inclined his head in acknowledgement. I am Elian of the first seeding. I've come from what you would consider your future, though time means little in the stream. Telvoros lowered himself to face the newcomer. Explain your presence, Elian of the first seeding. How have you breached our sanctuary? I breached nothing, Elian replied calmly. I was guided here by necessity. The Emperor's forces are closer to understanding the stream than you realize. They have already captured 3 of the cosmic eggs you left on worlds throughout the galaxy. This news sent a shock through the assembled dragons. Noah didn't understand the significance, but could feel their dismay. The cosmic eggs were insurance. Araxis explained privately to Noah. Repositories of our collective knowledge and power, hidden on remote worlds. If found and used improperly, the Emperor could tear open the stream permanently. Elian finished, having sensed their exchange, creating rifts that would allow armies to pour through, hunting dragons across all realities. Telvoros's mental voice was grave. How long do we have? Days, perhaps, Elian answered. But there is hope. The boy's transformation has accelerated the convergence. The prophecy is unfolding faster than even I anticipated. Noah felt the attention of all dragons turn to him once more. What prophecy? What convergence? Elian approached Noah, seemingly unafraid of the dragons surrounding them. When the last dragon takes his final breath, awakened by the child of 2 worlds, the convergence begins. Human and dragon, together creating what neither could alone. The words resonated within Noah as though he had always known them. My father used to say something similar. He called it the symbiosis theory, that dragons and humans were meant to evolve together. Your father understood more than he could articulate, Elian said. The convergence is not just transformation of humans into dragons. It is the merging of perspectives, the creation of beings who can perceive both the physical universe and the void stream simultaneously. And this helps us how? Keldara demanded. Because only such merged beings can complete the great work, Elian explained. The creation of the new reality that will save both our kinds from extinction. Telvoros considered this. You said you came from our future. Has this great work succeeded? A shadow passed over Elian's face. I come from one possible future, one where we waited too long. The Empire found too many eggs, tore too many rifts. The dragons were hunted to extinction, and the seedline humans were corrupted or killed before reaching transformation. Then we've already failed, Navarra said softly. No, Elian countered firmly. By coming back through the stream, I've already altered that timeline. Noah's transformation occurring now rather than decades from now changes everything. We have a chance to accelerate the great work before the Emperor can interfere. Noah felt the weight of responsibility settling on him. What must I do? Elian smiled, a human expression on a face that was both human and something more. You must learn what you are quickly, and then you must return to the human worlds to find others of the seed line and guide them to transformation. Return. Noah's thoughts swirled with confusion. The Empire will be hunting me. Yes, Elian agreed, which is why you'll need help. He turned to Araxis. You saved this boy, and he saved you. Your fates are intertwined now. Araxis dipped his massive head in acknowledgement. I will protect him. Telvoros raised himself to his full height, addressing all present. Then it is decided. Noah and Araxis will return to the physical universe to find more of the seed line. Meanwhile, we must secure the remaining cosmic eggs before the Emperor can find them. And I, Elian added, will teach Noah what he needs to know about his new nature. We have little time, but perhaps enough. As the dragons dispersed to prepare, Noah remained with Elian and Araxis. His mind was reeling with revelations, yet he felt a strange calmness beneath the chaos, a sense of purpose that had been missing from his life since his father's death. A single word brought a dragon back from death, Elian mused. And now that same dragon and boy will try to save 2 species and create a new universe. He smiled at Noah. Your father would be proud. Noah thought of his father's final words to him before being taken for execution. Remember what I taught you. Someday, It will matter more than either of us can imagine. He hadn't understood then. Now he did. Let's begin, Noah said, facing the future that awaited beyond the Nexus. A future where a human boy who became a dragon might help save existence itself. And that was the end of the story. If you listened all the way to here, don't forget to leave feedback about what you thought of the story in the comments, whether positive or negative. Your feedback helps us improve. Also leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this one. And I'll leave here on the screen another video that I'm sure you'll like. Big hug, and see you in the next story.